Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money and Mortgages. I'm Abdul and I'm a Senior Protection Advisor within WIS Business Protection. This is a short video on options available to you if you are looking to cancel your business life insurance policy. Essentially, cancellation is quite straightforward. So for term assurance policies, there are no commitment periods or charges. So that's definitely a positive. The policy can usually be cancelled by a letter from the employer that is signed. Now, sometimes that letter will require for the signatures of the trustees of your relevant trust plan to sign as well. Now, the policy these kinds of policies usually come off with a cooling off period, which is from between 14 to 30 days. A cancellation during this period would result in a full refund of any premiums that have been collected in that period. However, cancelling a term insurance plan isn't always the best way forward. This is because your premiums are based on your age and the underwriting that was done when your policy began. So it's always good to keep your options open. So there are a few options that need to be considered. What are the scenarios that could lead to you cancelling your insurance plan? So closing down your limited company or closing down your business. So that's when you would utilize the conversion option. So a conversion option literally converts the business policy to a like-for-like personal policy. The advantage of this here is that your premiums stay the same. What's required for it to be done is quite straightforward as well. An amendment deed would be needed to convert the business, so basically to remove the business from the position of being the policy owner and switching it to the individual itself, and a direct debit to remove the business's account details to the personal account details that will be taking over. Now, the only disadvantage of the conversion option is where the policy loses out on the terminal illness benefit. So terminal illness is essentially an option that is included free of charge in your life insurance plans most of the time, and it's an option that will pay out in the event of a terminal illness being diagnosed. So if you were given 12 months to live, the policy would pay up front. Now, one of the other scenarios that could lead to you considering cancellations is if you are moving to a new employer, or if you have started a new business and you'll be moving the policy over there. So this particular option is quite straightforward. Again, premiums stay the same. So that's a very key advantage. The new owners would essentially take over the policy, and the old owners or the old business would relinquish ownership. Now, in the same way as the previous option, you would require an amendment deed and a new direct debit form. Unlike conversion options, you do not lose terminal illness when you move to a new employer or a new business. I think one of the key points to keep in mind when moving to a new employer is moving to an employer that offers their own group insurance scheme. So essentially a death in service benefit, which would give you a multiple of your annual income. Now, we will be doing a separate video on this topic as this scenario occurs quite frequently. The bottom line is, it is our advice that having your own personal policy has several advantages, but more on this in our next video. The final point that I wanted to mention in terms of what could lead to you considering cancellation is if you were to leave the country. Now, key points to consider here. The insurance policy is still valid as long as your premiums are being paid from a UK bank account. The payout will only be paid to a UK bank account, another key point to consider. So it becomes the responsibility of your beneficiaries to make necessary arrangements to access these proceeds. Regardless, please do speak to us about the implications and what your other options might be when it comes to cancelling your policies. Thank you.
If you have any questions regarding any of the points discussed in today's video, you can call us on 0203 0111 968. You can also visit our website, wisbusinessprotection.co.uk.